Well, feature action coming your way. Donath Motorworks Limited Sportsman, the final feature 2025 for the Donath Motorworks Limited Sportsman. 15 laps is the issue, Jamie Davis, and we are ready. Hayden Howard will go from the pole to 21. Outside will be Caleb Howard in the 90. Row number 2, Mike Durham in the 6. 11, Genevieve Bartlett. Row number 3, Jackson Welling, 21. Nathan Rogers in the 44. Row number 4, Brianna Murtaugh, 33B, with the 8 of Stephen Bushey. Row number 5, the 7, Jacorey Arquette, along with the 1 of Garon Thompson. Final row, Jason Rarick in the 4, and the 401 of Joseph Fargo, scheduled to go. Don't see him out there on the racetrack, so we will go with what we got on track right now. 15 laps is the issue, and we are going to say caution again. Piece of debris down here on the front straightaway, so we'll wait to get that off the racetrack.
So, Tim, this is the battle for the most wins in the season in this division.
Yep. Mason Rogers and Genevieve Bartlett both have 4. We'll see who has the most after this one. They could be deadlocked at 4 for the remainder of the winter. We don't know.
We'll soon find out.
Absolutely.
But it's great to see it come down to a tie like this, and this is the tiebreaker right here.
That's just it. Of course, for those of you who know this division here at Can-Am, these drivers don't run for a track championship. It's mainly to get experience, log laps, and you have some of these drivers to give them a chance to win a couple of feature races during the year and have something to take away from the year, as opposed to throwing them right up in there with Gavin Isley, Richard Murtaugh, Jessica Power, and Eric Nyer, and a host of others.
But some of them have come from this division and gone into the sportsman ranks,
yep.
And they're doing very well.
And the 2 right now that are doing it the best are Murtaugh and Isley. They were once drivers in this class.
Yep.
They know it well.
Camden Cook has moved up into that now.
Moved in there, yep. So we'll see how it all unfolds here tonight. 15 laps is the distance. Can-Am Speedway pace truck from Bob Johnson Auto Group will depart the Speedway over there in turn number 3 and 4. Mike LeClaire with a little bit of assistance. We'll look the field over in turn number 3 and 4. It's a family fair on the front row. The Howards are going to go at it. Green lights are on and we're underway. And the mad dash is on into turn number 1 and 2. Caleb Howard. Oh, and Jackson Welling. Mike Durham gets into Genevieve Bartlett as they both go off the top side of turn number 2. Bartlett keeps her foot in the throttle and stays going. Mike Durham does the same thing as they work down into turn number 3 and 4, down to the line, lap number 1 on the leaderboard, and it will go to Caleb Howard as they dance into turn number 1 and 2. It is Caleb Howard in control, Hayden Howard second, Jackson Welling to third, Brianna Murtaugh fourth. Problems on the front straightaway here for Mike Durham in the number 6. Slowed down here on the front straightaway. He may have something going away on the right rear. The suspension did not look right when he came by. So we'll do it all over again here. 1 down, 14 to go.
Tim, I saw him check that suspension and the steering when he came into turn number 3, and he looked like he was going to get going again. He thought everything was fine, and then he came out of turn number 4 and said, oh boy, there's something else wrong here.
Yeah, definitely something was up on that ride. So Mike Durham, being the veteran that he is, many-time winner in the Thunder Car divisions here at Can-Am and across the Northeast as well. Mike's had an incredible career in full fender competition, but has been getting it done here on the novice sportsman or limited sportsman side of things. Just has not crossed the line first to get a victory yet, but we know that's coming. Single file restart here as we get set to go back to green. So 1 down, 14 to go. 7 laps shy of the halfway point. Back to green off of turn number 4. Caleb Howard gets the jump, and we're back underway. Great start there for Caleb Howard. Jumps into the lead. Hayden right there with him. Jackson Welling digging down on the inside lane. Brianna Murtaugh right there with Mason Rogers as the top 5 set up into turn number 3 and 4. Problems with the Jacorey Arquette number 7 ride. And Arquette pulls into pit road. And we stay green. And right now Caleb Howard in control. But Jackson Welling has been on the move. Just got around Hayden Howard for position number 2. Closes quickly on the race leader as they go to turn number 3 and 4. Down across the line this time by Howard in control, but Welling giving chase as we look back to the battle for third. Hayden Howard has that spot. Brianna Murtaugh trying to take it away. Mason Rogers right there to try to challenge. Steve Bushey trying to move in as well. Steve only making a handful of starts with us here in 2025, but he's looked really good here every time he's come out. Right now, down to the line, top 2 break away from the rest of the field. Caleb Howard in command. Jackson Welling still holding on to the 2 spot. 4 down, 11 more to go. Again, 15 laps is the distance. The top 2 pulling away, and Caleb Howard slowed with the problem on the outside of the racetrack, but he quickly collected it back up. That allowed Jackson Welling to close the gap as they come up off of turn number 3 and 4 and down to the line with 5. Howard with a problem. He's off the pace, and a plume of smoke out of the back of the 90 of Caleb Howard, and that will draw the yellow at lap number 5, and what a heartbreak that was. You want to finish your season strong, and he was looking like that was going to be a strong finish. Unfortunately, it is up in smoke in turn number 1.
That's an absolute terrible feeling right there when all the dials go the wrong way.
That's right.
And it just quite obvious that he's blown one up here on the front stretch. And leading a race and have that happen, that's pretty bad. The only other one that I know of that's just as bad is to have a caution with 1 lap to go in a race and then run out of gas.
Yep.
I've seen that happen too.
That's happened on numerous occasions, and it continues to happen in racing, it seems like. And everybody tries to cut it close sometimes on fuel, but this obviously was not a fuel problem. That's just a couple of parts and pieces in that motor that have expired, and unfortunately, that is how it works sometimes.
Very unfortunate. Your heart breaks when you see something like that.
Certainly
Not only
does.
because your pocketbook takes a hit, but when you're leading a race like that and something happens, that's a heartbreaker.
Well, of course, Caleb Howard has had a really good year in that number 92 wins, so as I had talked about, June 13th and July 25th. Finished second a couple of weeks ago to Mason Rogers back here on August the 15th, but aside from a couple of blips in the radar there on May 16th and August the 8th, it has been all top 5 and top 10 runs.
Nothing but getting better.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the best part. Yeah, you're going to have a blip on the radar every once in a while, but that's pretty darn consistent right there, and that's getting better, and just a tick off the top and leading it there, and oh my.
Just all goes away right there at the end, but Caleb has been strong, and we'll see what happens if next year he decides to make the jump to the Bob Johnson Auto Group Dirt Car Sportsman Division, or if he decides to maybe run another few weeks in this class before moving up. That's the beauty of this class. They don't run for a championship. They can come and go as they please. They can run every week that they want. They can run every other week, whatever, but it's kind of what they wanted to do to keep this class kind of a fun thing for everybody, just to learn, get laps, and like I said, maybe come away with a trophy every now and again.
The sportsman class all around, limited sportsman is a learning curve, but the sportsman division as a whole, I think, is one of the best things that's come around in racing. It's brought racing back to who can build the better mousetrap, which is to get a car to work good for you, because like we talked about in the past, it's all momentum with these cars. Once you get a good momentum going, it's not a lot to do with the horsepower. I mean, you got to have it to go.
Oh, for sure.
But it's getting the car to handle and getting the momentum going.
Absolutely. So, Jackson Welling now takes over the point. Hayden Howard is second. Brianna Murtaugh third. Mason Rogers back there fourth. Watch for him to go And we'll see what happens. If it turns out like Mohawk was a week ago, we could see a replay of that movie. Green lights. Oh, and Rogers, and just as I say it, 3 cars get all hooked together. Rogers is able to get free. 21 of Hayden Howard is around. Steve Bushey collected up. 1 other car also involved.
Yeah, this was a weird one, Tim. When they come out of the turn, I think Hayden Howard stepped on it to go, and there was nothing there.
Yeah, it didn't like it. It almost like the thing didn't fire off. You're right. So, Garon Thompson able to pull away in the number 1.
That's what happened. He came out of the turn and went to get on it to get going for the restart, and nothing happened.
Well, we'll see how the officials line this one back up.
Yes, Steve Bushey is able to pull away. Steve, he doesn't live too far from me, right down the road in Brushton.
That's right, yeah.
And like he said, he's had limited times that he's been here this year, but he likes racing here, I know that. But you gotta feel bad for Hayden Howard right here. Another goofy thing happening. You know, you step on it, that's gotta be a weird feeling. You step on it, there's nothing there, and you got cars coming behind you.
Well, there's 4 Howards that are competing tonight. 2 of them were in this race, and both of them had problems. You got to wonder about Brady Howard and the Sportsman side of things, and then, well, Andy Howard's looking on going, I don't know about this.
Maybe in the trailer is a good idea.
Probably a good idea to not watch.
They're not going to do that.
No way, no. Andy Howard is going to be out there battling, trying to get a win, but unfortunately is my good friend and announcing partner in Super Dirt Week at Oswego, Dan Martin, likes to say it's the business end of the tow truck for one Hayden Howard right now in the 21.
Yeah, Joe Murata used to say the hook treatment.
The hook treatment, yeah. Well, we talked about the, of course, this is the limited sportsman class, but we talked about the sportsman division as a whole. When it's first started here at Can-Am, I believe there's only about, well, like many classes start out, about 4 or 5 cars. 8-lap features, I think they ran back then in 1990.
Something like that.
You recognize the driver that won that very first feature race, April 28th, 1990?
Kurt Cartwright.
Remember him?
Yes. Some of the ones that we look at down through here that were, now this is Sportsman. Ray Zemkin, of course.
Right.
Many of you have heard of Jessica Friesen driving sprint cars and driving modifieds.
Yeah.
Plus she has the 1ZTs.
Yeah,
as
she's got
well.
it all going on here.
Well, Jessica, I remember when she was a little girl coming with her father with Ray to the track.
Yep.
And Ray is enjoying his time camping now.
I wouldn't doubt it. Ray had a really good career here.
He did.
Yeah.
He even ran at the Mills. He
Yep.
put a 4-barrel carb on and get the bigger tires on to run over at Evans Mills Speedway. He used
Yep.
to come up here with Jimmy Johnson.
That's right.
And they'd run. And then when he came over here, he'd go back to the 2-barrel and put the other tires on and run the Sportsman division here.
And just as good at both sides too. How about those names there? Tim Fuller, Joe Cook.
Yeah, Joe Cook, of course. I went to school with Joe. And
oh, you did?
He's got his his grandchildren here.
Yeah.
That are racing go-karts now.
Absolutely.
That's how much time has gone by.
Got to give this guy a shout out, Johnny Marcinko.
Oh yes, the Marcinko family. I just watched a late model race today.
Right.
With Guy Marcinko in it.
That's true. Got to give a shout out to Chris Marcinko. He's watching on DTD TV
Yep.
tonight. He's not here, but good to see him. Larry Besner.
Oh, Rex May, that B29
Rex
car.
May winning in a late model that year.
Yeah.
Here we are reminiscing again.
Yeah. Of course, who can forget Larry Besner?
Absolutely.
He was he dominated in this class.
Veteran Tim Clemens showed up and ran one night with us back then
Yeah.
in the sportsman division. Just some old memories back there. And
We had some good ones in that Sportsman class. Yeah, Steve Hall.
Yep.
That ran in that one, that 61 car.
Talked to Steve just recently here, and Steve is actually the all-time winner here in Dirt Car Sportsman competition.
Now that's been a long time holding on to that record.
Well, give you an idea. Last time Steve Hall won a Sportsman feature was back September 16th of 2000.
That's amazing you have this information like that. Jack Meeks in there, Josh Van Brocklin.
Both still competing.
Yep.
Murray Zemke, the late Brandon Hagen, 24 wins here.
Yep. Tyler Corcoran. Boy, there's a dominating figure in sportsman racing.
Goodness, especially here.
I'd like to see a master race with him and Bobby Harrington.
Oh boy, here we go. Green lights back on, 5 down, 10 more to go. Jackson Welling trying to hang in there and win his first ever Sportsman feature here at K&M. Got one at Mohawk earlier this year, trying to run away and hide as they head down the back straightaway. Brianna Murtaugh still second. Genevieve Bartlett holding on to third. She had some problems early on, and Jackson Welling looked like a little bit of puff of smoke out of the back of his ride here as they go down into turn number 1 and 2. Welling not slowing down whatsoever. He's drawn away from the rest of the field. Brianna Murtaugh still there for spot number 2. Bartlett still third. Garon Thompson up to the 4 spot now. Here comes Stephen Bushey looking for the 5 spot. He'll get around Jason Rarick going down into corner number 3 and 4 as they come back to the line. 7, and look out, Garon Thompson goes around. Yellow lights are on with 7 complete, 1 lap shy of the halfway point. The drama that is, that's how we go.
Attrition rate very high on the final night.
Really is. And
doesn't matter what division.
No, and you got to wonder, everybody pushing really hard trying to get that final feature win of 2025 because they know if they leave here without the trophy, it's going to be a long, long off season. But again, we'll be honoring these drivers at our awards banquet at the end of, probably around the time the snow starts to fly is when we'll have our banquet. That's when banquet season shows up.
You know who has taken advantage of these cautions has been Genevieve Bartlett.
Certainly has.
She's sitting there in third place and very quietly has made her way up through there.
Just quietly making her way up there. Not making a whole lot of noise just yet. We've seen here big last lap passes for wins this season. 1 lap shy of the halfway point. We're back to green. Jackson Welling on the hammer. Brianna Murtaugh right there with him as we're underway. Bartlett right there with him in third as they head up into 1 and 2, but Welling has been getting some good restarts. Draws away from the field down the back straightaway as they come to the halfway point. 8 down, 7 to go. Jackson Welling trying to hold on and join his dad as a Can-Am feature winner. We'll see what happens in 7 laps.
And Welling is still hanging on to that lead. He's got about a 4-car length lead over Brianna Murtaugh, then another gap of about 5 more back to Genevieve Bartlett, then a gap of 4 back to the number 8 of Steve Bushey. They come down the front straightaway once again, and it is still the 21 of the young wonder Jackson Welling out in front. Brianna Murtaugh still sits in second. Genevieve Bartlett still there in third. Steve Bushey still holds on to the number 4 spot. Mason Rogers is back there in 5th. Then comes the 4 of Jason Rarick out of Rodman. And then the 1R of Garon Thompson. But it is all the 21J of Jackson Welling out of Star Lake. He's now opened up that lead to about 8 car lengths over Brianna Murtaugh. Genevieve Bartlett still sits there in the number 3 spot. Battle on for 4th though. Mason Rogers down on the inside of Steve Bushey. And he's taken a look a couple of times down in there, but Bushey is able to hang on to the number 4 spot. Welling is still up in front. Brianna Murtaugh still sits there in the number 2 spot. Genevieve Bartlett back there 3rd. Bushey still holds on to the number 4 spot. Here's Mason Rogers down on the bottom of the racetrack trying to take away 4th. And this time he's going to be successful and he'll take away the number 4 spot. Coming around with 2 to go. It is still the young wonder, the 21 JM Jackson Welling. Brianna Murtaugh second. Genavieve Bartlett is still third. Mason Rogers is back there fourth. Steve Bushey is fifth. Jason Rarick sits there in sixth. And the 1R of Garon Thompson. White flag is out for Jackson Welling, and he has about a 9-car length lead now over Brianna Murtaugh, who sits in second with Genevieve Bartlett third, Mason Rogers fourth, and then Steve Bushey rounds out the top 5. Up the number 4 turn, he comes, the young wonder out of Star Lake. Jackson Welling will take the win. Brianna Murtaugh will finish in second. Genevieve Bartlett will finish third. Mason Rogers fourth. Steve Bushey will get fifth. Jason Rarick will finish.
Please, I'm recording. I'm recording.
And Mike LeClaire.
Yeah, you can't forget Mike LeClaire, that's for sure. Right?
And Richard Murtaugh.
Oh, Richard Murtaugh too. All right. Well, congratulations, and let's go celebrate with these guys. You've certainly earned it, bud. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, Jackson Welling wins the Donna's Motorworks Limited Sportsman. Sean